Now, our final speech for the evening is Lynette Vermaak, and she'll be evaluated by Zuku. Zuku, would you please tell us a bit about Lynette's speech tonight and the goals, the purpose of tonight, of her speech tonight?
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, I said there was an adjustment I had to slightly put on the program. Lynette's speech is 20-40 minutes, so I think there's a problem there. So 5 to 7 minutes makes the right time for her speech, which is, the purpose of the speech is for the member to develop a clear understanding of their ethics framework. And the member must create an opportunity for others to hear more about this framework. And probably she will use an example how she applied the framework in a community setup. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Lynette Vermaak with Ethical Leadership by Lynette Vermaak.
But before you start, can I just clarify just a little bit? This project is an ethical leadership project. You give an opening speech, then you do the whole project, and you come back a month or 6 later, and you give your closing speech. But it requires a panel discussion in the opening speech. So I haven't set all that together. So I'm putting out my framework of what my concept is of ethical leadership and why I believe it's important. And I'm going to do that just in 5 to 7 minutes. And sometime in November, we'll put the whole thing together with a panel discussion and so on. So my speech will start now. Cool. Ethical leadership is sorely lacking in this country. Everywhere you listen, every story you hear, everything you hear, maybe not everything, maybe only 80%, is about people who bent the rules, changed the thing, dodged the taxes, and did things to try and smooth their way a little bit better. It's like $50 you pay when the cop pulls you over, which you shouldn't do. And you know that you can do it, and you know you'll get away with it, because the chances of the cop being ethical are also minimal. So what is ethical and what is ethical leadership? Being ethical means you have a moral compass that will keep you on the straight and narrow. And you won't consider giving the copies $50. Well, take the fine. But probably in the first place you weren't speeding, because that's really not, it's against the law. So maybe you were paying attention and you weren't speeding. So ethical leadership really comes to decisions. Decide what to do, how you're going to do it, and most importantly, why you're going to do it. Because if you don't have a guiding moral compass, is probably the best term to explain it, that you are going to do things correctly regardless of the situation, then it's very easy to be swayed. If you don't know what you stand for, the saying goes, you'll fall for anything. So you have to know what you stand for and why you stand for that. If you look at Toastmasters, the values in Toastmasters, I abbreviate them by RISE, R-I-S-E. So it's actually integrity first, respect, service and excellence. And if you can have that and that guides you in your day-to-day living, you're probably fairly ethical and you're fairly straightforward in your leadership. A lot of what I was going to say, Peter said. So it just takes a lot of what he said. It's strange how those two speeches dovetail. And saying as well about failing first and learning feel is right for that situation. A few years ago, Jabula Teller was District Director for Toastmasters. And his motto that year, which has stuck with me, and I can repeat it and I can see it, and every time there's a thought or consideration, you go back to it. And Jabula Teller was very strong on every member matters. Doesn't matter who they are, where they are, what the situation. He always used to say, what about the chap who's sitting in Zeerust, or the chap who's sitting in northern KZN, who cannot get to a meeting? What are you doing for him? And that becomes a decision. Do you establish a club there? Do you have an online club that you try to reach those people by? Because I believe fervently that in-person Toastmasters is a place to grow. But if you are denied the opportunity of coming to an in-person meeting, it's way better to be able to have the opportunity to attend an online meeting than to have no option at all. And those things make up your decisions. And the other, every member matters and every story counts. Every person has a story. What's brought them to this place? What challenges have they overcome? How did this lady at 16 manage with twins? I had twins. I was way older than 16, probably nearly double that age. And I can tell you it's not easy. But people help you. And it comes from where you're going, what your focus is, what your guiding light is. And people will stand up and help you. And if they see that you're flaky, and you've got no way to go, no direction, those people helping you fall away. But people who are there and who are helping you and standing by you will continue to do that, as long as you are on a path where they can see you headed in the right direction and you're doing your very best to achieve what you want to achieve. And what else can I say? It's personal actions, and not only personal actions, it's the way you treat other people. So it's your interpersonal actions as well. Do I say to you today that it's sun shining and it's a wonderful day, and I turn around and I come back to you 5 minutes later and I make you feel like nothing? That's not the right way to treat people. If you've done something incorrect, there's a way to point out to you and explain to you. Try it better this time, that way. Try it this way next time. And that's what you learn in Toastmasters through evaluations and giving feedback, because it's constructive. Doesn't mean it's a whitewash and you're told, oh, you did a wonderful job, but you didn't. You're still told, try to fix that, try to do that better, but it's the way it's explained to you that makes you feel like a stronger person and that you can learn from